Ice Crown, a monument to our suffering because it's part of the world's crown. And today, we need to discuss the most diabolical, glaring fact hidden in plain sight, that Northrend is no simple polar continent. It is a literal planet-sized helm of domination on Azeroth herself. And we must remove it. You could think of the continent as a giant gnomish mind control cap strapped to the Worldsoul's brain. Where the helm of domination bound a king, the icy crown of Northrend binds a goddess. The goal here today isn't merely speculation, it's hindsight, going back as far as Warcraft 3. And to understand this clearly and see the clues laid out for the truth of Northrend, we have to discuss the Forge of Wills in Ulduar, the Crown of Wills crafted by the Primus, the Forge of Souls beneath Ice Crown, and the very origins of domination. Let's begin. Did you know that Ulduar is already admitted to be a machine indoctrinating the Worldsoul? That's right. Chronicle Volume 1 tells us that Ulduar was built in part to imprison Yogg-Saron. But once the old god was chained, the complex was expanded to serve a new purpose. As a portion of the Manifold, the Titan Keepers installed at least 2 great forges into the earthen crust of Azeroth, known as the World Forges. Uldum in the south designated Forge of Origination, and Ulduar in the north designated the Forge of Wills. We're told that the primary function of the Forge of Wills was, and I quote, to shape the Worldsoul's budding sentience. Shaping sentience? Keep that in mind as we continue, as it's something important we'll circle back to when we discuss the namesake of the Forge of Wills. The Titans even used Azeroth's sentience and will as a battery, harnessing the Forge to gift their new Titan-forged armies with consciousness and souls. Though Ulduar as the main base of operations rests in the Storm Peaks, we have seen that there is a vast underlying Titan construction that reaches under and across the breadth of the continent. From the Nexus and Sholazar Basin in the west, to the earthen tunnels and Titan statues beneath Grizzly Hills and Howling Fjord in the east, with Wormrest Temple in the middle, Titanic influence connects it all. Northrend isn't just dotted with Titan machines, it is a Titan machine. A continental engine built to shape the consciousness of the world itself. And it raises the question, how connected are the depths of Ice Crown Glacier to the greater Manifold? In Wrath of the Lich King, we fought through the Forge of Souls beneath Ice Crown's citadel, but Shadowlands revealed its true purpose. That the Forge of Souls was instrumental in siphoning the essence of the Worldsoul to a place beyond Zereth Mortis and the Realms of Death through a machine of origination in a place known as the Heart of Eternity. This is where the Jailer attempted to re-originate the Maker's flawed design and bring the cosmos under his domination. If the Scourge and the Nathrezim who constructed Ice Crown and the Forge of Souls are capable of connecting their machines to the Heart of Eternity, what would have stopped the Titans from doing so with their machines long before the Scourge? And this is where we need to talk about the nature and origins of domination. What if I propose to you that domination isn't exclusively a binding magic of the Shadowlands, but also a primary tool for the pantheon of order? In Shadowlands, we learn of the Primus and his mastery over this runic magic. But because patterns echo in this universe, we have to take a deeper look. In the ever-increasingly canonized Warcraft 3 RPG manual, Shadows and Light, the only beings in the entire setting who have the exact spell named Domination are the Titans. Yeah, you heard that right. The original text reveals that the Titans are uniquely given the spell described as, and I quote, "At will, as a standard action, a Titan can crush the will of his favored enemy." Sargeras used it to bind demons, and the Titans used it to order the Dragonflights, the Earthen, and ultimately Azeroth. Because my friends, Order is just domination with a better PR team. One shapes your will, and the other one crushes it. But the result is the same: compliance, servitude, binding. And to find the key between these normally conflicting forces, it's time we tackle the central theme in all of this: will. The will of Azeroth, the Forge of Wills, the Crown of Wills, and the unyielding will of characters like Anduin and Zovaal are all pointing to a major revelation, one that is expanded upon in the Sylvanas novel. That compared to every other world that he judged as the Arbiter, no races had the superior willpower possessed by those who had came to live on Azeroth. Azeroth's inhabitants have wills that are nigh unbreakable, and this stems from the Worldsoul itself, as seen when we defeat Zovaal. But remember, we only did so as a result of the Primus crafting a new tool for us: a crown. We aided the Primus in studying the shattered Helm of Domination and reforged it into the Crown of Wills, a tool to resist domination. But back to the Titans, they did the opposite. They installed the Forge of Wills in Ulduar and intended to use it as a forge of domination. A mechanical crown to shape the Worldsoul's budding sentience. The soft way of saying brainwashing, programming. Azeroth has been bound, imprisoned, and pray, hero, that she has not yet been dominated by the Forge of Wills embedded in the crown of the world. Our precious Worldsoul, dreaming away and sleeping, if kept in subjugation by this will-shaping machine strapped to her head, will continue to serve an eternity of imprisonment. A broken will, a tool for the forces of order, forged into a loom of indiscriminate fates. So, what could we possibly do to stop it? If the Titan's prize is guaranteed by the fate of an entire continent, then we must pry it from their grasp. I predict that in The Last Titan, the machinations of Iridikron, Xal'atath, or worst case scenario, the Titans themselves, will open the expansion with a monumental, epic moment: the upheaval of Northrend. That crown of ice and the Forge of Wills within must be removed, and our venture to these wintry lands in The Last Titan will be focused on the battle for freeing Azeroth's will. The continent of Northrend will be fractured, uprooted like OUTLAND, lifted into the astral plane outside of time, with the earth-shaken regions held together by the vast Titan installations below. And for those thinking, this sounds too crazy, remember, we've almost seen this happen before. Back in the Frozen Throne, Illidan's storm rage claimed the Eye of Sargeras, and from the ruins of Dalaran, he wove a spell to physically shatter the tectonic plate of Northrend itself. Was such an extreme truly to take out one king, or did his efforts have a greater goal? Malfurion stopped him, but what if Illidan was right? What if he wasn't just destroying a continent, but trying to pry the crown off of Azeroth with a Titan-forged crowbar? We know the Titans are returning. We will uncover a vast conspiracy, and it all goes down at Northrend. Iridikron is just waiting for this, and he spoke to the gravity of the situation, asking us, "Haven't you questioned why the Titans preserve this timeline?" And part of the answer is that the Titans are banking on our compliance, our servitude, and our wills to fulfill the timeline where Azeroth is successfully conquered. The timeline where the crown is never removed, where Northrend stays put, and the Prime Worldsoul stays both a prisoner and prisoned while her will is harvested. Heroes, there is so much more to unpack here, but this is the core of it all. Northrend will be lifted, and only time will tell whether our world is set free and how it's done. But remember this one, I've just got a hunch. The only question left is who pulls the trigger and why. But let's save that for next time. Thank you for watching, Hero. My name is Xaxxas, and I hope you've enjoyed this breakdown of the themes presented in Northrend, Shadowlands, and what's to come in the last Titan.